Good day and thank you for joining us on BTV Global News at 12. I am Liberateman Joanna. Now the news in details. Public health officials and harm reduction advocates in Indiana are scrambling to sustain a syringe exchange program that has helped curb infectious disease and connect people who inject drugs with services, after a July executive order from President Donald Trump restricted the use of federal funding for certain supplies used in such programs. The report.
Under the executive order, federal substance abuse grants can no longer be used to purchase supplies like cookers and tourniquets that officials say only facilitate illegal drug use. Syringe purchases were already prohibited with federal funds. This shift has forced programs that relied on federal and state funding to adapt or face closure. Indiana's syringe services have been under pressure even before the order. A decade ago, the Republican-led legislature passed a law permitting needle exchanges in response to a devastating HIV outbreak in rural southern Indiana. Unless lawmakers extend that law, currently set to expire next year, all exchanges in the state could end by mid-2026. In Clark County, health department staff have improvised by purchasing restricted items with private funds and packaging them in so-called mystery bags, assembled by employees not paid with federal or state money. Officials say without such workarounds, vital harm reduction supplies will disappear. Supporters say syringe exchange programs are essential public health tools. Clark County Health Officer Dr. Eric Yazell emphasized that people who inject drugs are going to inject whether clean supplies are available or not, and that exchanges reduce disease transmission across the border community. Programs also provide naloxone to reverse overdoses, testing for HIV and hepatitis C, and referrals to treatments and social services. Data collected by the Indiana Police-based Damien Center show statewide exchanges have made more than 27,000 referrals to drug treatment and distributed naloxone that helped reverse nearly 25,000 overdoses. Clark County's program alone has provided thousands of doses of naloxone and referrals for treatment and testing, with a 92% syringe return rate, despite documented public health benefits including evidence that syringe programs can cut HIV and hepatitis C incidents by about half and return roughly $7 in avoided healthcare costs for every dollar spent. The programs have become deeply politicized. Critics, including Republican former Indiana Attorney General Curtis Hill, echoed that Trump's administration's concern that supplying equipment to people who use drugs may be seen as promoting drug use. "We don't want to get into a situation where we are promoting drug use," Hill said, reflecting broader opposition in some conservative circles. The future of syringe services in Indiana remains uncertain, Advocates have pushed for legislation to extend the legal framework for exchanges through 2036, but they face an uphill battle in the upcoming legislative session. Without action, public health officials warn that the loss of these programs could lead to a rise in infectious disease and overdose deaths. Some states, such as California, have doubled down on harm reduction funding, using state money to support a growing number of exchanges, highlighting a divide in how different regions are responding to the issue. Public health experts lament that syringe services, long backed by decades of research as effective harm reduction tools, have become entangled in political debate, jeopardizing services that they say protect both people who use drugs and the wider community. Temitope Oluwafemi reporting for BTV News.
Nightly attacks on Ukrainian cities and critical power infrastructure has forced Kyiv to rapidly rethink its air defense strategy, accelerating the development and deployment of low-cost interceptor drones designed to destroy incoming aerial threat, costing as little as $1,000 per unit. These new drone killers have moved from early prototypes to mass production in a matter of months in 2025, marking a significant shift in the conduct of modern warfare. The report.
For much of the conflict, Ukraine relied on a mix of Soviet-era systems and advanced Western-supplied air defenses to counter missiles, cruise weapons, and Iranian-designed shared drones. While effective, those systems are expensive and often ill-suited to combat large swarms of low-cost attack drones. Firing a missile worth hundreds of thousands of dollars at a target costing a fraction of that price proved economically unstable. In response, Ukrainian engineers, defense startups, and military units collaborated to produce a new generation of cheap, fast, and expendable interceptor drones. These systems are optimized to track, chase, and neutralize hostile drones before they reach urban centers or energy facilities. By relying on locally available components, simplified designs, and rapid manufacturing techniques, Ukraine drastically reduced development time and unit cost. According to Ukrainian defense officials, the interceptors are now being deployed in layers alongside traditional air defense assets. Radar, acoustic sensors, and visual tracking systems identifying incoming threats, after which interceptor drones are launched to engage them at short range. This approach preserves expensive missile systems for higher value targets while allowing low-cost drones to handle mass attacks. The speed at which the program advanced has drawn attention from military analysts worldwide. What once would have taken years of testing and procurement has been compressed into months, driven by battlefield urgency and constant real-world feedback. Ukrainian units have been able to modify designs quickly, improving range, guidance, and reliability based on combat experience. Beyond immediate battlefield impact, the rise of Ukraine's drone killers highlights a broader transformation in warfare. The balance is shifting away from a small number of highly sophisticated platforms towards large numbers of affordable, rapidly replaceable systems. This model favors innovation, adaptability, and cost efficiency over sheer technological complexity. As attacks on Ukrainian infrastructure continue, Kyiv views its low-cost interceptor drones not just as a stopgap measure, but as a cornerstone of future air defense. The program demonstrates how nations under pressure can innovate quickly, rewriting military rulebooks and reshaping how air defense is conceived in the drone age. Temitope Oluwafemi reporting for BTV News.
While Egypt celebrates its Olympic success in wrestling, weightlifting, and other sports, thousands of young athletes outside the capital continue to train in relative obscurity, often in small, underfunded clubs far from the spotlight. The report.
One such club, nestled in a quiet neighborhood dozens of miles from Cairo, have become a beacon of hope for aspiring wrestlers. Despite limited resources, the club is producing athletes who aim to compete on the international stage, proving that talent can emerge even in the most modest environments. The club, operating in a space no larger than a standard gymnasium, hosts daily training sessions for boys and girls ranging from ages 8 to 18. Coaches emphasize discipline, technical skill, and physical conditioning, often improvising with second-hand mats and basic equipment due to budget constraints. Hamed Mustafa, the head coach, says the club's mission is simple but ambitious: We want every child here to have the chance to dream of the Olympics. Cairo gets the headlines, but the real work happens here on these mats. Many of the athletes travel long distance to attend practice, balancing school, family responsibilities, and rigorous training schedules. Yet their dedication is evident in every drill, every match, and every moment of sweat and effort. Despite these challenges, the club has begun to produce results. Several young wrestlers have already won national junior titles, while others are on the path to qualifying for international competitions. Local sponsors and community supporters have stepped in to help, providing modest financial assistance and equipment donations. Sports analyst notes that Egypt's national success in wrestling owes much to these grassroots initiatives. While large training centers in Cairo provide advanced facilities, it is clubs like this one that nurture talent, instill resilience, and keeps the country's athletic pipeline flowing. For many of the young athletes here, the dream of standing on the Olympic podium is no longer just a distant fantasy. It is a goal they chase with every practice session under the watchful eyes of coaches who believe in their potential against all odds. Temitope Oluwafemi reporting for BTV News.
President Donald Trump has appointed Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry as his special envoy to Greenland, a move that has drawn renewed criticism from Denmark and Greenland. The appointment highlights Washington's continued interest in the strategically important mineral-rich Arctic island. The report.
And a proposal that was rejected and widely criticized by Danish and Greenland officials. Critics have voiced concern that the new envoy role could further strain relations between the United States and Greenland, as well as with Denmark, which maintains sovereignty over the island. The announcement has reignited debate over U.S. intention in the Arctic region, including access to valuable natural resources and geopolitical influence. Governor Landry, who has served as Louisiana's top executive since 2020, is expected to represent U.S. interests and foster diplomatic discussion with Greenlandic authorities. Greenland government has yet to issue a formal response to the appointment, but Danish officials favor Kolawole reporting for BTV News.
NVIDIA has informed its Chinese clients that it plans to begin shipping its second most powerful AI chip, the H200, to China before the Lunar New Year holiday in mid-February 2026, according to sources familiar with the matter. The report.
The shipments, if approved by Chinese authorities, would mark the first delivery of H200 chips to China since the United States eased export restrictions on advanced AI hardware. NVIDIA intends to fulfill initial orders using existing inventory, with shipments comprising about 5,000 to 10,000 chip models, roughly 40,000 to 80,000 individual H200 chips. The company has also indicated plans to expand production capacity for the H200 in the second quarter of 2026. However, Beijing has not yet formally approved any H200 purchases, and the shipment schedule remains contingent on Chinese government clearance. This development follows a major policy shift in Washington, where the U.S. government recently announced it would allow exports of NVIDIA's H200 chips to China under a licensing regime with a 25% fee, reversing prior restrictions due to national security concerns. The decision has drawn scrutiny from U.S. lawmakers, including Senator Elizabeth Warren and Gregory Meeks, who have demanded transparency on export licenses and assessment of potential military applications. The news also boosted NVIDIA's stock, reflecting investor expectations of renewed demand from one of the world's largest AI markets. The H200, part of NVIDIA's Hopper architecture, remains widely used for AI workloads, and demand from Chinese tech giants like Alibaba and ByteDance underscores the strategic importance of access to high-performance AI accelerators. While the plan signals a potential resumption of advanced AI chip exports to China, officials in Beijing are reportedly considering conditions for approval, including proposals to tie H200 imports to purchases of domestically developed chips. NVIDIA's announcements could reshape global AI supply chains early in 2026, pending government approvals in both the US and China. Temitope Oluwafemi reporting for BTV News.
And now to business news. The Nigerians in Diaspora Chamber of Commerce has launched 8 prospective investment projects aimed at Nigerians living abroad. The projects were unveiled in Lagos during an event focused on the role of people and businesses in shaping emerging markets. The report.
The Chamber said the new platforms are designed to provide structured and secure investment opportunities for diasporas while helping to bridge the gap between emerging and advanced economies. It emphasized inclusion, mutual respect, and sustainable development as core objective of the initiative. NIDCC highlighted that diaspora remittance exceed $20 billion annually and represents a significant contribution to Nigeria's economy. The projects are structured to promote transparency, reduce investment risk, and encourage long-term diaspora involvement in national development. Regent MFB crosses 10 billion naira MSME lending milestone. Regent Microfinance Bank has surpassed 10 billion naira in cumulative loan disbursements in micro, small, and medium enterprises across Nigeria. The bank said the milestone reflects its efforts to address the country's credit gap and support entrepreneurial growth. The bank's loan portfolio covers a wide range of sectors, including fast-moving consumer goods, small and medium enterprises, asset financing, and micro-business support. Through these offerings, Regent MFB aims to promote inclusive and accessible financial services. Management noted that the achievement underscores the bank's commitment to empowering businesses and driving sustainable economic growth. The institution reaffirmed its focus on long-term economic impact through continued support for MSMEs. NEM Group has recognized outstanding employees and retirees during its 2025 end-of-year celebration held at its Lagos head office. The event brought together staff from its insurance, asset management, and health subsidiaries. The group recorded strong performance in 2025, exceeding its projections for the year. This success was attributed to the dedication of employees and the support of clients and business partners. NEM Group noted that the collaboration among its subsidiaries contributed to several awards and recognitions during the year. The group said it would continue building on its achievements while delivering quality services and contributing to economic growth. Temitope Oluwafemi reporting for Beetv News.
And that will be all in our Global News updates. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned with also more updates. I am Beetv Joanna. Bye for now.
Religion.